I think after October 7th, the Israelis saw an opportunity to cleanse Gaza. And what they thought was they could pummel Gaza, mainly with bombs dropped from aircraft, but also from tanks that were used to level buildings. They could start to make Gaza look unlivable. They could start to move people out of northern Gaza into southern Gaza, which they were very successful at doing. And this would end up pushing all the Palestinians, or most of the Palestinians, out of Gaza. So they had a punishment campaign aimed at civilians that was designed to ethnically cleanse. The problem is they were not successful in pushing the Palestinians out. The Palestinians didn't leave. So they continued to pummel the Palestinians. They continued to bomb. They continued to drive more and more Palestinians out of their homes. They began to pursue a starvation strategy. And what happened was, because ethnic cleansing didn't work, it morphed into a genocide. It was just mass killing to start, but then it became a genocide. And this is why in December, South Africa went to the International Court of Justice. It was at the end of December that they filed their brief with the International Court of Justice. And I think it was in January when the International Court of Justice said that there was sufficient evidence to make a plausible case that Israel was committing genocide. So that's why I changed my view. I don't think it started out as a genocide. I don't think the Israelis were intent on murdering most of the Palestinians or a substantial portion of the Palestinians. I think they were interested in just ethnically cleansing. And in an ideal world, they would have been able to snap their fingers and the Palestinians would have been gone. Very important to understand, Jasmine, that inside Greater Israel is the Israel that was created in 1948, plus the West Bank, plus Gaza. Those three big chunks of territory comprise Greater Israel. Inside Greater Israel, there are roughly 7.3 million Jews and 7.3 million Palestinians, okay? And when you have a system like that, you can't have a true democracy, especially when you look at Palestinian birth rates versus Jewish birth rates inside Greater Israel, right? So you can't have a democracy. They don't want a two-state solution. They want to maintain Greater Israel. So how do you make it work? And the answer is you create an apartheid state. Israel is an apartheid state. It's, again, politically incorrect to say this in the West, but
in Germany as well.
Yeah, in Germany and in the United States and in Britain, right? Again, this is why the mainstream media avoids people like me and people like Jeff Sachs, because we say Israel is an apartheid state. But as I often point out to people, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and B'Tselem, which is the leading human rights organization inside of Israel, those three human rights organizations, these are blue chip human rights organizations. All three of them have produced large reports, substantial reports, well documented, making the case that Israel is an apartheid state. And anybody who's ever been there, like me, knows it's an apartheid state. But the Israelis would like to put an end to that. They know what happened to South Africa. They don't want to remain an apartheid state. And the question is, how do you put an end to being an apartheid state